speak. One exercise you shouldn't skip after 60. What if one of the most important exercises you can do after 60 doesn't require a gym, expensive equipment, or complicated routines? What if it is something you can do almost anywhere at almost any time of the day? That exercise is walking. For many adults over 60, walking may seem too simple to make a real difference. But that simplicity is actually one of its greatest strengths. You don't need to become an athlete to support your health as you get older. What matters is finding a form of movement that you can perform consistently and safely. As we age, staying physically active becomes increasingly important. Spending long periods sitting can gradually affect muscle strength, mobility, balance, circulation, and overall fitness. You may notice that activities that once felt effortless, walking upstairs, carrying groceries, getting out of a chair, or taking a longer walk, require more energy than they used to. This is why daily movement matters. Walking regularly gives your body a reason to keep moving. Your legs, hips, and core muscles are involved with every step. Your heart works to circulate blood throughout your body, while your joints move through a natural range of motion. And perhaps most importantly, walking can become part of your everyday lifestyle rather than something you only do during a scheduled workout. You also, donandapos, have to start with a long walk. If you have an andapos, exercise regularly. Even a short, comfortable walk can be a useful starting point. You can begin with several minutes and gradually build your time as your fitness and confidence improve. For some people, splitting activity into shorter walks throughout the day may feel much more manageable than trying to complete one long session. And here in Dapos, something important, more is not automatically better. The goal is not Dapos to exhaust yourself or prove how hard you can exercise. The goal is to create a sustainable habit that keeps your body moving. Of course, walking is not Dapos, the only form of exercise older adults can benefit from. Strength training, balance exercises, flexibility work, and other activities can all play valuable roles in healthy aging. But walking stands out because it is accessible, practical, and easy to incorporate into ordinary life. So if you Dapos are over 60 and wondering where to begin, donandapos, underestimate the power of taking that first step, because sometimes one of the simplest habits can become one of the most valuable parts of your daily health routine. Why walking is so powerful after 60. When people think about exercise after 60, they often imagine complicated gym machines, heavy weights, intense cardio sessions, or demanding workout programs. But one of the most practical forms of physical activity may be something you already know how to do: walking. Walking is powerful because it works with your body rather than demanding that you completely change your lifestyle. You can walk outdoors, around your neighborhood, inside your home, at a shopping center, or on a treadmill. You can walk alone, with a friend, or with family. And depending on your fitness level, you can adjust the pace and duration to make the activity more comfortable. For adults over 60, that flexibility can make a major difference. Supporting your heart and circulation. Your heart is a muscle, and regular physical activity gives it an opportunity to work. When you walk, your muscles require oxygen and nutrients, which means your cardiovascular system has to deliver more blood throughout your body. Over time, making movement a regular part of your routine can help support cardiovascular fitness. Brisk walking, when appropriate for your individual fitness level, can provide more of a cardiovascular challenge than a very slow stroll. Walking also gets your legs moving repeatedly, which encourages muscle activity in the lower body. This is particularly valuable for people who spend many hours sitting during the day. Speak. Think about what happens when you sit for hours. Your legs remain relatively inactive. Now compare that with walking, where your feet, ankles, calves, thighs, hips, and core are continuously participating in movement. That simple change from sitting to moving can be meaningful. Walking helps you stay mobile. One of the biggest concerns associated with aging is nandapos, simply getting older. Itandapos, gradually becoming less active. When someone stops moving because everyday activities feel difficult, they may move even less. That can create a cycle. Less activity can lead to reduced fitness, which can make movement feel harder, which can encourage even more inactivity. Walking can help interrupt that cycle. Regular walking gives you opportunities to practice the movements you need in everyday life. Yuandapos, repeatedly stepping, shifting your weight, turning, stopping, and starting. Those movements are connected to independence. Think about walking to the mailbox, moving through a grocery store, visiting friends, climbing a few stairs, or walking across a parking lot. These aren't andapos, athletic competitions. They andapos, normal activities of daily life. Maintaining the ability to perform them comfortably can contribute to a greater sense of independence. It can support your legs. Your legs are your foundation for movement. Every step requires your lower body muscles to participate. Your calves help push you forward. Your thighs help control movement. Your hips help stabilize your body. And your core contributes to balance and posture. Walking alone. Should nandapos be considered a complete strength training program, especially for preserving muscle and strength as you age? Resistance exercises can provide additional benefits, but walking can still be an important part of an active lifestyle. For someone who has become sedentary, simply getting up and walking regularly can be a meaningful first step toward becoming more physically active. And that first step matters. Walking can be good for your mood. Exercise is nandapos, only about muscles and the heart. Your brain and emotional well-being are also connected to physical activity. Many people find that walking gives them time away from screens, household responsibilities, and prolonged sitting. A walk outside can provide fresh air, sunlight, and a change of scenery. Walking with a friend can also turn exercise into a social activity. Instead of thinking, I have to exercise, you might think, yandapos, going for a walk, That mental shift can make the habit easier to maintain. For some people, a morning walk becomes a peaceful way to begin the day. For others, an evening walk provides an opportunity to unwind. There is no single perfect time. The best time is often the one you can consistently fit into your routine. You don't andapos need to walk for hours. Another misconception is that walking only counts if you do it for a long time. The tandapos not necessarily true. If you andapos, recurrently inactive, starting with a manageable amount is often more realistic than suddenly trying to walk for an hour. You might begin with 5 or 10 minutes and gradually increase your duration. You could also divide your activity throughout the day. For example, instead of attempting one long walk, you might take a short walk in the morning, another after lunch, and another later in the afternoon. This approach can make physical activity feel less overwhelming. The important principle is consistency. A moderate walking habit that you actually maintain is generally more useful than an ambitious exercise plan that you abandon after a few days. Walking can become more challenging. Once regular walking becomes comfortable, you can gradually increase the challenge. You might walk slightly faster for short periods. You might choose a gentle incline if your fitness and balance allow it. You could extend your walking time gradually or choose a route with small variations in terrain. But progression should be gradual. You don't need to turn every walk into a workout that leaves you exhausted. The purpose is to challenge your body appropriately while still allowing you to recover. And remember, everyone's starting point is different. A healthy and active 65-year-old may be able to walk much faster and farther than someone who is 80 and has been inactive for several years. Age alone doesn't determine what you can do. Your current fitness, health history, balance, joint comfort, and experience with exercise all matter. The real power is consistency. Perhaps the greatest advantage of walking is that it can become a habit. You don't need to wait for Monday. You don't need a special piece of equipment. You don't need a complicated schedule. You simply need an opportunity to move. Over time, those individual walks can become part of your lifestyle. And that's an important lesson about healthy aging. The most effective routine isn't necessarily the most complicated one. It's the routine you can safely repeat week after week, month after month, and year after year. So if you're over 60 and looking for a practical way to become more active, don't overlook walking because it seems too simple. Sometimes the simplest exercise is the one you're most likely to keep doing. And every walk begins with the same thing, a single step. Walking in stronger muscles, bones, and balance. When you think about walking, you probably think about cardiovascular health first. But walking does something else that becomes increasingly important. After 60, it keeps your lower body involved in regular movement. Your legs are responsible for much more than simply taking you from one place to another. They help you stand up from a chair, climb stairs, step over obstacles, get in and out of a car, and maintain your balance when you suddenly change direction. That is why protecting mobility should be one of the major goals of healthy aging. Every step gives your body a reason to move. Walking may look simple, but every step requires coordination between multiple parts of your body. Your feet make contact with the ground. Your ankles help control movement. Your calves and thighs contribute to pushing and stabilizing your body. Your hips help control your stride, while your core helps keep your upper body stable. You don't necessarily feel all of these muscles working during an ordinary walk, but they are participating for an adult over 60. Regularly practicing these basic movements can be valuable because mobility is something you want to maintain, not something you want to suddenly realize you've lost. The less you use your body, the easier it can become to fall into a sedentary routine. Walking gives you a simple reason to keep moving, supporting muscle function. As we age, maintaining muscle strength becomes increasingly important. Walking by itself isn't a substitute for resistance training, but it can contribute to an overall active lifestyle. Think about the difference between someone who spends most of the day sitting and someone who regularly gets up and walks. The walking individual is repeatedly using their legs throughout the day. They're practicing stepping, shifting weight, maintaining posture, and controlling their body through space. This doesn't mean walking will magically prevent age-related muscle loss. Instead, think of it as one piece of the larger picture. If your goal is to maintain strength as you get older, walking can work alongside appropriate strength exercises such as sit-to-stands, resistance band exercises, or professionally recommended resistance training. The combination can be much more useful than relying on one activity alone. Walking and bone health. Your bones also respond to physical activity. Walking is a weight-bearing activity because your body supports its own weight while your feet repeatedly contact the ground. This is one reason regular weight-bearing movement is often included in discussions about maintaining bone health. However, the needs of every individual are different. Someone with osteoporosis, a previous fracture, significant balance problems, or another medical concern may need personalized guidance about which activities are appropriate. The goal is not to push through pain or attempt movements that feel unsafe. The goal is to find movement that your body can tolerate and that you can perform consistently. Balance is a skill you practice. Balance is another area that deserves attention. After 60, many people think balance is something you either have or don't have. But balance involves strength, coordination, vision, sensory information, reaction time, and the ability of your brain and muscles to work together. Walking gives you repeated opportunities to practice controlled movement. Every time you take a step, your body briefly shifts its weight from one side to the other. When you turn around a corner, stop at a crossing, or change your pace, your body has to adjust. Those everyday movements are part of functional mobility. However, if balance is a concern, don't assume walking alone is enough. Specific balance exercises can provide additional training, and some people may benefit from working with a physical therapist or qualified exercise professional. Make your walks slightly more challenging. Once you are comfortable with regular walking, you may want to introduce small changes. For example, you could include a few short periods of faster walking during your normal route. You might walk comfortably for several minutes, then increase your pace for a short period before returning to your normal speed. Another option is choosing a gentle incline, provided your balance and fitness make this appropriate. You could also gradually increase the length of your walk. The key word is gradually. You don't need to make every walk harder than the previous one. Your body needs time to adapt. Increasing distance, speed, or hills too quickly can leave you excessively tired or increase the risk of discomfort or injury. Don't ignore your feet. Your feet are the foundation of every walking routine. Pay attention to your footwear. Shoes should feel comfortable, provide appropriate support, and fit properly. If your shoes cause pain, rubbing, numbness, or discomfort, don't simply assume you need to break them in. Your walking routine should feel sustainable. Also, pay attention to the surface you're walking on. If you're uncomfortable walking on uneven ground, begin with a smooth, predictable surface. As your confidence improves, you can decide whether adding more variety is appropriate. Listen to your body. One of the most important principles for exercise after 60 is learning the difference between healthy effort and warning signs. It is normal for your breathing and heart rate to increase when you walk faster, but severe chest discomfort, fainting, unusual shortness of breath, sudden weakness, or other concerning symptoms should not be ignored. If you have a chronic health condition, significant mobility limitations, or you're unsure how much activity is appropriate for you, speak with your healthcare professional before significantly increasing your exercise routine. Exercise should challenge your body, not punish it. The bigger goal, staying independent. Ultimately, the purpose of walking isn't simply to count steps. It's about maintaining the physical abilities that allow you to live your life. You want to be able to walk through a grocery store, visit your friends, travel, enjoy your neighborhood, stand up from a chair, and participate in activities you love. Those everyday abilities are easy to take for granted until they become difficult. That's why a simple daily walk can be more meaningful than it appears. Speak It gives your body repeated opportunities to practice movement, supports an active lifestyle, and helps keep physical activity connected to your everyday life. Walking is not a complete exercise program by itself. Strength, balance, flexibility, and cardiovascular training can all have a place in a healthy aging routine. But if you want a simple foundation, walking is an excellent place to start. Because every step is nandapos, just movement, itandapos, practice for the life you want to keep living. The right way to walk after 60. Walking may be one of the simplest forms of exercise, but that does nandapos mean you should ignore how you do it. After 60, the goal is nandapos, to walk as hard or as fast as possible. The goal is to create a walking routine that challenges your body appropriately while remaining comfortable, safe, and sustainable. The best walking routine is one you can continue tomorrow, next week, and months from now. Start slowly, especially if you've been inactive. If you andapos, then sitting more and exercising less, don and apos, feel pressured to immediately walk for 30, 45, or 60 minutes. Start with what feels manageable. For some people, that might be 5 or 10 minutes. For others, it may be longer. Your starting point should depend on your current fitness, mobility, health history, and how comfortable you feel while moving. You can gradually increase your walking time as your body adapts. For example, you might begin with a short walk once or twice a day. After several days or weeks, if that feels comfortable, you can slowly add a few more minutes. The goal is progression, not perfection. Pay attention to your walking pace. Not every walk needs to be brisk. A comfortable walking pace can be an excellent starting point, especially if you are new to exercise or have been inactive. As your fitness improves, you may choose to introduce periods of faster walking. A useful general guide is the talk test. During moderate activity, you should generally be able to speak, although you may notice that you andapos re breathing more heavily than during complete rest. If you andapos unable to comfortably say a short sentence because you andapos re struggling to breathe, the intensity may be too high for you. This is not a perfect measurement for everyone, but it can provide a simple way to think about intensity. Your walking pace should match your current abilities. Don andapos, forget the warm-up. Many people walk directly out the door and immediately begin at their fastest pace. Instead, consider giving your body a few minutes to transition into activity. Start with a comfortable, easy pace. Allow your muscles and joints to gradually become involved in the movement. You don and apos need an elaborate warm-up routine. A few minutes of easy walking can be enough to prepare your body for a longer or faster walk. If you have specific mobility limitations or have been advised by a professional to perform particular warm-up movements, follow that personalized guidance. Pay attention to posture. Good walking posture. Does nandapos mean you need to walk stiffly? Try to keep your head comfortably upright, your shoulders relaxed, and your eyes looking ahead rather than constantly down at your feet. Let your arms move naturally. Your steps should feel controlled rather than exaggerated. You don andapos need to take enormous strides to make walking effective. In fact, an excessively long stride may feel uncomfortable for some people. Instead, focus on a natural rhythm that feels stable and controlled. Choose the right shoes. Your feet carry you through every step, so footwear matters. Choose shoes that fit comfortably, and don andapos, pinch your toes. They should feel stable and appropriate for the surface where you normally walk. If you andapos, walking outdoors, consider the terrain and weather conditions. If you andapos, walking on a treadmill, Make sure you understand how the equipment works and that you feel comfortable getting on and off it. Speak. The best shoe is Nandapos, necessarily the most expensive shoe. Comfort, fit, stability, and suitability for your activity are more important. Use your environment wisely. Where you walk can affect how comfortable and safe your routine feels. If you you're concerned about balance, begin with flat, predictable surfaces. A quiet indoor location, walking track, or smooth sidewalk may feel more comfortable than uneven trails. As your confidence and fitness improve, you may choose to introduce gentle variations, but never feel pressure to walk somewhere simply because someone else says Itandapos is a better workout. A safe, consistent route is often more valuable than an unnecessarily difficult one. Break your walking into smaller sessions. Here in Dapos, the strategy that can make daily exercise much easier, you Donandapos have to complete your entire walking routine at once. Suppose a 30-minute walk feels overwhelming. Instead, you could consider several shorter walking periods throughout the day. A short walk in the morning, another after lunch, and another in the afternoon or evening can add up. This approach can be particularly useful for people who become tired during longer sessions or who have busy schedules. The important thing is to find a routine that fits your life. Know when to slow down. Exercise should create an appropriate challenge, but there is a difference between normal exertion and warning signs. Your breathing may become faster when you increase your pace. Your legs may feel like the antipos, or you're working harder. Thatandapos is expected. But if you experience concerning symptoms, such as chest pressure or pain, fainting, severe or unusual shortness of breath, sudden weakness, or another symptom that feels serious or unusual, stop exercising and seek appropriate medical attention. Donandapos. Try to anquat, push through anquat, potentially serious symptoms. And if you have a medical condition, significant joint problems, balance concerns, or euandapos, returning to exercise. After a long period of inactivity, discuss your plans with your healthcare professional. Consistency beats extreme workouts. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to exercise intensely every day to see benefits. Thatandapos, not the goal. Imagine walking moderately for a manageable amount of time several days each week for months. Now compare that with walking extremely hard for 1 week, becoming exhausted or uncomfortable, and then stopping completely. The first approach is much more sustainable. Healthy aging is Nandapos, built from one perfect workout, Itandapos, built from thousands of small decisions repeated over time. Create a routine you enjoy. Your walking routine should fit naturally into your day. Maybe you prefer walking after breakfast. Maybe you enjoy an evening walk after dinner. Perhaps you like listening to music or a podcast while walking, or maybe you prefer walking with a friend. You can also use walking as an opportunity to spend time outdoors or connect socially. The more enjoyable the experience feels, the easier it may be to maintain. So, Donandapos. Focus only on how many calories you andapos are burning or how many steps your device is recording. Ask a bigger question. Can I make this a habit I actually enjoy? If the answer is yes, you andapos are much more likely to keep going. After 60, exercise dos nandapos have to be complicated to be valuable. Start at your level, walk at a comfortable pace, gradually increase the challenge when appropriate. Wear comfortable shoes, pay attention to your surroundings and your body andapos signals, and most importantly, remember that the goal is nandapos, to prove how much you can do. The goal is to keep your body moving so you can continue doing the things that matter to you. Because a daily walk is nandapos to just about to diandapos, workout. Itandapos is about protecting tomorrow wandapos, independence. Simple ways to make your daily walk more effective. Speak. Speak walking is already a valuable form of movement, but once you indapos have built a consistent habit, there are simple ways to make your daily walks more beneficial without turning them into exhausting workouts. The key is to remember that effective dosnandapos mean extreme, especially after 60. Your goal should be to challenge your body appropriately while giving it enough time to recover. You donandapos need to walk until you andapos, right? Completely exhausted. Instead, small changes can make your regular walk more engaging and help you continue improving your fitness. 1. Add short periods of faster walking. One of the easiest ways to change your normal walk is to occasionally increase your pace. You donandapos have to speed walk for the entire session. Instead, begin with several minutes at your comfortable pace. Once your body feels warmed up, increase your pace for a short period. After that, return to your normal pace and recover. You can repeat this pattern if it feels comfortable. For example, imagine you andapos, taking a 20-minute walk. You might spend the first 5 minutes walking comfortably, then add a few short periods of faster walking throughout the remaining time. The faster portions should still feel controlled. Yandapos, we're not racing anyone. The purpose is simply to ask your cardiovascular system and muscles to work a little harder. As your fitness improves, you can gradually increase the duration of those faster periods. 2. Introduce gentle inclines. Walking uphill requires more effort than walking on completely flat ground. If your fitness, balance, and joints allow it, adding a gentle incline can make your walk more challenging. That might mean choosing a route with a small hill or using a treadmill with a modest incline, but don't indapos. Assume that steeper is better. A very steep hill can place additional demands on your muscles and joints, and may be inappropriate for some people. Start with a gentle incline and see how your body responds. If you have significant balance problems, joint issues, or another health concern, ask a healthcare professional whether hills or incline walking are appropriate for you. The goal is to create a manageable challenge, not to turn your walk into a mountain climb. 3. Break up long periods of sitting. Hirandapos, a powerful strategy that does nandapos even require one long workout. Look at how much time you spend sitting during the day. Maybe you sit while watching television, reading, working at a computer, talking on the phone, or scrolling through your device. Instead of remaining seated for several hours without interruption, look for opportunities to stand up and move. Walk around your home for a few minutes. Take a short trip outside, walk through the hallway, move around while talking on the phone. These small periods of movement may seem insignificant individually, but they can help make your entire day more active. Your goal is nandapos, simply to complete one exercise session and then remain seated for the rest of the day. Healthy movement can be distributed throughout your daily routine. 4. Combine walking with strength and balance exercises. Walking is excellent, but it does nandapos provide every type of physical training your body needs. As you get older, maintaining strength and balance becomes increasingly important. Datandapos is why walking can work particularly well as the foundation of a broader exercise routine. For example, you might combine your walking routine with simple strength exercises such as chair stands, resistance band movements, or other exercises recommended for your fitness level. Balance exercises can also be useful. Some people practice controlled movements while standing near a stable surface for support. Others work with physical therapists or qualified exercise professionals to improve balance and mobility. The important point is that you donandapos have to choose between walking and strength training. They can complement each other. Speak walking helps you practice continuous movement and endurance, while resistance exercises can specifically challenge muscles. Together, these activities can create a more complete approach to healthy aging. 5. Create a walking routine you can actually maintain. This may be the most important strategy of all. You can have the perfect walking plan on paper, but if it does nandapos fit your lifestyle, you andapos are unlikely to maintain it. Instead of asking, "Anquat what dapos, the hardest workout I can do?" Anquat, ask yourself, Anquat, what routine can I realistically continue? And quote, maybe a 30-minute morning walk works perfectly for you. Maybe you prefer 3 shorter walks throughout the day. Maybe weather makes outdoor walking difficult, so you use an indoor location during certain seasons. There is no single perfect schedule. Your routine should fit your abilities in your life. You can also make walking more enjoyable by turning it into something social. Invite a friend or family member to walk with you. Join a walking group if one is available in your community, or simply use your walking time to enjoy music, an audiobook, or the environment around you. When exercise becomes something you look forward to, consistency becomes easier. Donandapos, forget recovery. Making your walks more effective does nandapos mean making every walk harder. Your body needs recovery. If you suddenly increase your walking distance, speed, or hills, and your joints or muscles become unusually sore, give yourself time to recover. Pay attention to persistent pain rather than trying to ignore it. A gradual approach is generally more sustainable than making dramatic changes overnight. Think long term. The biggest mistake is focusing only on tudayandapos, walk. Instead, think about what happens when you walk consistently for months and years. A single walk, one endapos, transform your health, but repeated movement can become part of a lifestyle that supports mobility, cardiovascular fitness, strength, independence, and overall well-being. That is the real goal. You donandapos need to walk faster than everyone else. You donandapos need to reach an arbitrary step count every single day. You donandapos need to turn every walk into a competition. You simply need to keep moving and gradually challenge yourself when appropriate. So the next time you go for your daily walk, try one small change. Walk a little faster for a short period. Choose a gentle incline. Take another short walk later in the day, or pair your walking routine with a few appropriate strength and balance exercises. Small adjustments can make your routine more interesting while keeping your focus where it belongs. Building a healthier, more active life that you can sustain for years to come. Your daily walking challenge. Start today. Now that you understand why walking can be such a valuable part of staying active after 60, there are andapos. One important question left. What are you going to do with this information? Because knowing that walking is beneficial is nandapos enough. The real difference comes from turning that knowledge into a habit. So here andapos, a simple challenge. Start your own 7-day walking routine. Donandapos, worry about walking for an hour or reaching a huge step count. Your first goal is simply to create consistency. If you andapos, we're currently inactive, begin with a short, comfortable walk that matches your abilities. It could be 5 or 10 minutes. If you adipose are already active, you might choose a longer walk or include a few short periods of faster walking. The important thing is to start at a level that feels manageable. Make it a daily habit. Choose a time that works naturally with your schedule. Maybe eat tandapose after breakfast. Maybe eat tandaposes after lunch. Maybe you prefer walking in the evening. Put it on your daily routine just like any other important activity. And remember, your walk, those nandapos, have to be perfect. If you miss a day, don't andapos, decide that you andapos failed. Simply start again the next day. The goal is consistency over time. Keep your body safe. As you increase your activity, listen to your body. Normal physical effort is expected, but concerning symptoms shouldn't be ignored. If you experience chest pain or pressure, fainting, severe or unusual shortness of breath, sudden weakness, or another serious symptom during exercise, stop and seek appropriate medical attention. If you have health conditions, significant balance problems, or you're unsure about what level of exercise is appropriate for you, speak with your healthcare professional before making major changes to your activity routine. Your next step matters. After 60, healthy aging isn't about trying to become younger. It's about protecting the abilities you already have and maintaining the freedom to do the things you enjoy. Walking can be one simple tool that helps you keep moving toward that goal. So when you finish watching this video, don't just think about taking a walk. Take the first step. And if you're already walking every day, challenge yourself to stay consistent. If you found this video useful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone over 60 who could benefit from a simple reminder to keep moving. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How many minutes are you planning to walk tomorrow? Write your goal below. Because your next healthier chapter doesn't have to begin with a complicated workout. Sometimes it begins with something as simple as putting on your shoes, opening the door, and taking that first step.